Because we have our guests arriving any time, it is important we hold back. Let us not speak when we have our guests. We are mothers. We know how to hide things. And let us talk today. But indeed, we wanted to talk on Friday. So we are very sad as we read this statement because we are talking here now on behalf of this talking points during our press conference 27th February today to condemn the High Court's ruling on Lgbtq, whatever it's called. So good morning, members of the press and staff who are here. With me is the National Secretary, Mrs. Mayeka, National Treasurer, Mrs. Owino. Today we have called you here as mothers of this nation, and we are talking on behalf of all the mothers who have called us. You know, we are a grassroots-based institution, and women cannot understand what this story is about. Let's start there. And therefore, they wanted us to speak even on Saturday, and we said we shall hold on. We are talking on behalf of the National Steering Committee, which is nationally. In fact, our Vice Chair, when we had a board meeting last month, Mama Fatuma, kept on saying from Lamu, tuongee hii maneno ya mama kuoa mama na mwanaume kuoa mwanaume. And I told her, Mama Fatuma, if we start going there, we will not do the issues which brought us. And here we are hardly a month. So on behalf of the board and the entire membership of Maendeleo, an institution which turned 70 last year and you also, we are here to say, as mothers of this nation and custodians of families, and in the interest of millions of mothers and fathers countrywide, to express our dissatisfaction with the Supreme Court of Friday, 24th Feb 2023, on ruling allowing registration of the National Gay and Lesbian Human Rights Commission as an NGO. I'll take you back to 1995 after Beijing. President Moi was actually right, because when he gave us the first cabinet minister, Mama Nyiva Mwendwa, to lead us to Beijing, when we came back, he got wind of this story. And when people went to State House to take him the result, you know how the conference was. I remember there was a ASK meeting. Nairobi show was on. This is 27 years ago. And Maendeleo deals with the history. And Rais Moi was upset. And he really got Mama Mwendwa, and I'm talking in public TV. And we had to say, Baba, this we never did. We were never part of that conversation. This is 27 years ago. Na akasema hii kitu hata haina jina ya Kiafrika, mimi sijui ni kitu gani. And he was very upset with the women. And it took time for him to accept the women empowerment in the country. How then do we get here? The Kenya Constitution is very clear and defines marriage as a union between opposite sex, Article 45 of the Constitution. The Penal Code, Section 162, 163, and 165, criminalizes homosexuality, and therefore the ruling contravenes the existing laws in Kenya. We are not lawyers ourselves. We are women. We are mothers, we are grandmothers, in fact, the three of us seated here. And we are just wondering, we were bequeathed a country by our foremothers and fathers. What country are we going to give you people if things look the way they look? Even just by looking at Kenya, the drought in this country running 5 consecutive seasons. Is there something we have done wrong as a nation? Do we need to go back and ask God, what is this we may have fallen short of your grace? And even before, with our boy child going through what they are going through, hearing about boarding schools, what is happening to our girl child, before we address that, we come to a decision like this. We are very unhappy. Kenya is a nation, Christian nation, and therefore cannot support homosexuality, and the Quran with our Muslim brothers and sisters does not support it too. Indeed, this morning, Mama wa Mombasa ambaye ni women rep ameongea. I have seen a clip as I was coming to the office. This is un-African. It is against our cultural values, norms. It is sinful and evil, unnatural, and deviates from religious teachings. Kenyan mothers we represent today are for the preservation of positive cultural values, protecting our lineage. You tell me, you are children born by your mothers and fathers. When we all go to our final place when we die, what are we going to be leaving behind? If our granddaughters are going to be marrying other women, what our sons, our grandsons are going to be marrying boys, what kind of society is this? There is a problem. We are not saying this thing has not been there, but at least it has been hidden, and people have been lobbying families and talking and trying to help families who have been hit by this kind of thing. We are not naive. We've been exposed, we've traveled. We know it has been there, but we are saying people are trying to manage quietly. But now when it becomes law, you can form an NGO, then there's even no point of sending these children to school. If this is a country which will be looking like in the next 30 years, how will Kenya look like? Kenya is not about today. 60 years we've come this far with independence. How will Kenya look like 60 years to come? It's better we pack our bags and wait for the days we die, because you cannot bequeath children a nation which is so evil like this. Supreme Court ruling, Supreme Court being the highest court in Kenya, should have not made such a ruling, because it leaves us helpless, vulnerable, and asking ourselves what we are going to do. The other illegal practitioners and criminal organizations, like those who commit incest and thieves, are they also going to get associations? Supreme Court, you have the power. Please do not throw this country after 60 years into decisions like this. We reject this, and we are ready to stand by it till the end, when Christ will call us home. The only important thing here is, what does it benefit you if you gain the whole world and lose eternal life? That is the most important thing here. We are not talking properties, we are not talking money. What does it benefit you when you lose everything like this? And I want to repeat, what does it benefit you if you gain the whole world and you lose eternal life? That is what we feel today. We joined yesterday I was I'm an Anglican in the Osseous Cathedral when the provost spoke about it. And in fact, our church in England, our mother church, made that decision. The Archbishop refused it here. And the provost read the letter for us, talking as an Anglican. Our president himself, His Excellency Dr. RUTO, was interviewed by CNN, his first trip after inauguration, and I watched it live in London. And he said Kenya cannot go there. So where is all this kind of thing coming from? So we join the Kenyan churches and Kenyans of moral integrity in rejecting and opposing the Supreme Court ruling. We will not be party to it in eroding our social norms, values, and morals. Lastly, we are going to be petitioning the Attorney General and the Parliament through the Speaker to institute a bill that will bar the registration of Lgbtq. Women of Kenya have said no to LGBTQ. Wamama mmasemaje?
No.
So that is where we are. We have talked on behalf of maendeleo members and non-maendeleo members, and we are saying hata hii ukame yote tuko nayo, tujui Mungu anatupigia nini. Tunasema kitu mchana hii na usiku tunafanya hii. The Lord knows our hearts. Kenyans, let us remember that. Mungu anaona maroho zetu. And if we are doing different from what we are saying, the Lord is going to punish us, and maybe is already punishing us. And this is it where we are today. So I thank you, media. We are very unhappy. See what you can report, but I've given you the message as it is from my heart, from the heart. To Justice Ouko, and I think Justice Ibrahim, I think they descended. We want to thank them most sincerely for being brave. Some of these things sometimes need God to just give you the strength. So we thank them, and we ask them to support us as we go ahead to say that this is not the right thing, and we really need to go back and rethink. And we ask the remaining judges to hear our plea, and we ask them with a lot of humility, please reconsider. This is the last court Kenyans go to. So when things look the way they look to us today, we are helpless and we are mothers. Where else are we supposed to go? If you know where else we can go, then you have to rethink this decision. Asanteni sana. I just wanted to thank the two who are bold enough.